Hello and welcome back in another episode of painting monsters from the Witcher Old World. This time we're gonna paint Bruxa, another vampire for the collection. As you can see, the reference card pretty cool mini, but again it's very hard to decide based on those graphics. I have another card from another game, but again you get some indication, especially for the hairs, but I decided to go my own way and do a bit of a kind of like a pale dirty skin, and then the base, obviously, as you can see, is a kind of like a ruins, so we'll try to match that. The model was primed with the grey primer from Citadel, and then there was a bit of a white from the top and above. We're gonna start with the Nun oil, the wash, and we're gonna be painting the monster itself. We're gonna do a kind of like a pre-wash, but again I'm not gonna this time. I'm not gonna paint the whole model. We're just gonna put the pre-shade on the monster. As I said, we want to achieve kind of like a dirty pale skin, and that will help a lot. And again, as previously I showed you that, remove the excess from the kind of most exposed parts to the light. Next we're gonna switch over to XV88 mixed with the Scrag Brown, pretty much 50-50, and we're gonna use that mixture to paint over that wooden spoke wheel. We're gonna use the same color mix as well for the barrel and for the flooring that is nearby those bricks, and again the one beside the wheel. Obviously the wheel looks like it's lying down in some sort of straw or hay. However, we're gonna use a different color for that later on. Now we're gonna switch over to the Rhinox hide, and we're gonna paint that pole and the rafter that the monster is jumping from. Again, we do it pretty rough and quickly, and while the paint is still wet, we're gonna do some wet blending with our mix we use for the flooring. So just here and there, whatever you think, just to give a bit of a kind of like texture, so it's not the Rhinox, it's not so constant on that part of our model. And again, we put a little bit of the Rhinox hide, tiny bit on that flooring underneath, just to have a bit of a contrast. Now we're gonna switch to the Valor Brown, and we're gonna use this for the hay, that or it's just a straw, I don't know, so maybe it's a barley straw, considering we have some barrel beside it, maybe with some nice stuff inside. So we're gonna use that for this purpose. Now we're gonna switch over to the Boogman's Glow and the Wild Rider Red, and we're gonna paint over the bricks. Obviously this is a kind of like a fall down bricks from some sort of wall, so we're gonna apply some mortar later on, but at the moment paint the whole lot with the Boogman's Glow, and then add again, wet blending once the other color is still wet. Add some Wild Rider red here and there, mainly on the tops, but you know, play by ear, you know, do whatever you think. It's nice just to have some kind of like a two color scheme. And again, you don't have to cover those bricks completely. If there will be some sort of wider grade color coming through, it's absolutely fine. We just want kind of like a better shading on that, so more color than better. And then we're gonna switch over to the Bugman's glow itself, and we're gonna paint the monster body, obviously not the hairs, but just the skin. And I use kind of quite dilute color, so plenty of water, and paint it over. You might apply 1 or 2 coats just to cover it better, but again, we want that shade that we applied previously to come through a bit as well. At this point, I would like to welcome the new subscribers as well. Thanks, you know, for clicking that red button and subscribing my channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope you like this video and the next coming as well. So thanks again for that. But again, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. You know, it's a great help to grow my channel. Now, our next step, we're gonna switch over to the Ashen Grey and do a bit of a grey color on her hair. We're gonna use a dry brush technique for that. Again, you know, we want to remain that black wash in recess, it stay black. Now we're gonna switch over to the kind of like a dark steel, which is the lead belcher, and we're gonna paint the inner rim and the outside rim of the wheel. And again, we're gonna paint the metal parts on the barrel. Yeah, so this is our model with all the base colors applied, and now we're gonna switch over to do some wash. So we're gonna mix the Agrax Earthshade with the Lamian Medium and Nun Oil in the proportion of 1 part of Nun Oil and the Agrax Earthshade and the half portion of the Lamian Medium, and we're gonna paint all the brown colors and the hay, so pretty much the whole base apart from the bricks, and we're now obviously not gonna apply that to the monster itself. Again, you know, the hay, you know, just don't go over too much when that color come through a bit. And then we put another layer of the black Nun Oil on her hair. The redstone from the army painter, we're gonna put it over the bricks only. But again, at this point, if you want, you might put a little bit into her mouth, which I forgot, so I had to do it later on. Next, we're gonna get over the Corax White from Citadel, and we're gonna mix over with our Bugman's Glow, and we will be applying another layer of that paint into our monster skin. We're gonna use that in a couple of stages just to highlight the whole monster. It's probably the longest process of painting this model. Just take that time and have fun. And once you finish one layer, add a little bit more extra white and do it all over again. the first layer we're gonna do pretty much most of the skin on that monster, but with every next layer we're gonna do less and less. So just spend some time on it and do it in a couple of stages. The last one will be pretty bright and pale. Again, I did want to have the kind of like a, you know, as I said initially, a dirty skin effect, so you know, so it's not that smooth. But again, I think, you know, for the kind of like a vampire monster, it's looks still cool. And for another layer we're gonna add a little bit more white, make it a bit more pale, and again we apply a little bit less, mainly on those light exposed areas. Again, when you're painting the face, you know, just with those brightest tone, try to focus, you know, those parts that are really stand up, which is like the forehead, nose, the top side of the cheeks, her fingers on that arm she's keeping up front are pretty thin, and it looks cool if you know, do a bit of a contrast between that dark shade on the inner hand and kind of pale white on the top and the outer part. And of course, don't forget about, you know, highlighting those fingers on that pole. Again, it could stand off a bit if you cover them with kind of like a pale white skin. And now using the mix of our Pokemon's Glow and the Wild Rider Red, you can do kind of like a darker color to paint the nipples, and then switching over to the pure white to do the eyes. Again, you know, the eye holes should be kind of like a nice pre-shaded, but the eyeballs pure white, and again with the teeth, pure white color would be absolutely perfect for the vampire. Again, Pokemon's Glow, quite a lot in this model. Today what we're gonna do a bit of a shading on the bricks, and then we're gonna add a little bit white into the Pokemon's Glow as well, and we're gonna do a bit of dry brushing on those bricks, but comparing to the regular dry brushing, leave a bit extra paint. Don't remove the whole from your brush. And once you do that, we apply quite a lot of white, pretty much white, and just shape your brush. Do not remove completely, and kind of staple down. We want to have a kind of like a mortar effect. It's a broken wall, so those bricks have been fixed with the mortar, so just, you know, put it heavily here and there and gentle in the other areas, you know, whatever you think, but you know, it look far better, you know, when you do that kind of like a white mortar here and there than the kind of plain red bricks. And next we're gonna do a little bit work on that pole and the rafter. So we're gonna start with the Morphin brown and do a bit of a dry brushing here and there. Again, we do not cover the whole, you know, especially, you know, leave the recesses untouched. Our next color for that will be the Scrag brown, and again, you know, be more selective. Again, we want to have different shades of brown across the whole timber. So you might go from the darker to the brighter parts. And once you finish with it, again, we're gonna do a bit of a Balor brown as well. So especially, you know, the kind of edges, the tops, whatever you think, just to cover some areas with the kind of brighter brown, nearly yellow, for a nicer effect and the better contrast. In our final stage, we're gonna mix some of that Balor brown with the white, and we're gonna do the final touches. But in the meantime, as you can see, I do a little bit on the barrel and on that wee stage, and a tiny bit on the rest of the floor as well. And as I mentioned before, a little bit of the white with the Balor brown. We're gonna mix it over just to achieve a bit kind of like a nice light browny yellow color and touch here and there, again on the barrel and on that rafter as well. I will repeat the same process on the flooring here and there as well. For the wheel itself, you might touch gently with a dry brush. However, you know, the better result will be repeating the same process with the ordinary brush. Unfortunately, my camera memory ran out, so I didn't record that episode in full. So sorry about that. But again, it's the same process. So we start with our original mix, and then we add in a bit of a Balor brown, more and more, to finish with the pure Balor brown, and with the last touch with the Balor brown with a little bit of the white. So that's the effect on that wheel. Next step, doing a bit of highlighting on the hair of our monster, and we again gonna use the Ashen Grey mixed with white, and we're gonna do it in a couple of stages, adding more white in every next stage you're gonna go through. Again, once you're doing that, just remember, you know, to be quite careful not to go with that kind of bright colors into the recesses. We want to remain them dark, and again, you don't have to cover every single hair that's kind of stand off. You know, the mix of those different gray colors, it's ideal for the nicest effect. And next we're gonna again switch over to the lead belcher, and we're gonna add a bit of a silver as well. So again, all our metal parts, just highlight them, you know, whatever it's needed, and then on those the most exposed areas, we're gonna add a little bit silver to our lead belcher, and gonna touch here and there just to have that kind of nice and shiny effect. However, in some areas we're gonna add a little bit of the rust. So before we do that, we apply in a couple of patches the paint called Typhus Corrosion. So again, here and there, and once that's done, we're gonna switch over to the Riser Rust and touch gently our metal parts with the Riser Rust. So it's creates kind of like a nice pattern between the, you know, the shiny part and the rusty parts on the model. So it looks pretty cool. As you can see, I removed the top of that wheel from the Riser Rust just to remain a bit shiny. So you need to play a bit with it, you know, see what is best. As I mentioned before, I forgot to put a red wash earlier on, so I just apply it now, but you might do it once you're doing your bricks. As you can see, I used some Mephiston red, tinted down very heavily with the Lamian medium, which creates a kind of like a wash consistency, and apply on the eye holes. Remember, they were pretty shade with the black earlier on. We applied the white for the eyeballs, and then we want to remain that eyeballs to be white, but around that we want to have a kind of like a red-ish effect, which just looks cool for the vampire. Once that dry off, which is gonna take some time, we're gonna apply the white dots as well. The rim, German grey as usual. And then, as you can see, I had some grass. Obviously it was too long, I had 4 millimeters, so I had to cut it down a bit. But if you have like a 2 millimeter one, it's absolutely fine. PVA glue, and then glue it in between that in the rim in between and on the side. Remove the excess, fix it with the brush a bit, and that will give you the cool effect of the straw on that model. And a small correction of the eyes after applying our red. Want those white eye pupils to stand off a bit. Also small correction on the teeth. pure white, obviously perfect for the vampire, so we want to have them clear visible. Then vampire obviously loves blood, so we're gonna apply some blood for the blood gut. We did a little bit on the mouth, tiny bit, a little bit on her chest, and a tiny bit on the base itself, maybe a little bit on the fingers as well. So this is the effect. Again, you might, once the glue dry off, you might correct that hay a bit, and then we're gonna apply some seraphim sepia, tiny bit, just for the nicer contrast effect on that straw, and that will be our model pretty much done at this stage. Yeah, so this is our model pretty much good to go. A few clips in a different kind of lighting, how it looks like. So I hope you did like this video. I'd like to thank my regular viewers for watching it, for your likes and comments. I'd like to thank again the new subscribers for joining the gang, and I would like to invite all the viewers who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe the channel, give the thumb up if you like this video, and feel free to comment. And if you have any particular monster from this game to be painted next, give me a shout. I have one next appreciated already, so I hope to put another clip pretty soon, but at this time, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the next clip. Take care, bye now.